The collapse of the once great Bungie studios, the powerhouse of the FPS genre, has well and truly been upon us for years, ever since they signed that deal with Activision to do all the Destiny stuff, leaving Halo in the rearview mirror. Like, okay, there was hope, man. I remember when the entire Destiny project was announced, 3 games over 10 years. Oh my god, this is going to be huge. And then they got Activision money. How could this not succeed? And then it failed spectacularly, and now they're just a shadow of their former selves. Probably coming to a head earlier this year with all of the marathon stuff that went on. Oh my god, just gameplay that looked so basic, bitch. You'd think 343 Studios put it out, and that's not even to mention the plagiarized art assets that were all over the game. But no, Marathon's closed beta didn't inspire any enthusiasm, and in a moment of salient thought, Sony decided to actually delay this. They aren't going to change up the monetization strategy with this one, echoing Concord of all things. Oh my god, just pay us up front and trust us, bro. You'll really like the end product. And in a point in time where, flash forward a couple of months, Battlefield 6 comes out and it's like, okay, cool, you want to play a shooter, but you want like a gritty infantry-based boots on ground shooter. Marathon looks even more antiquated than it already was, but hey, it's still going to release. It's still scheduled to release in March of 2026, but then you look at all of the issues plaguing modern day Bungie, and let's just say I won't hold my breath. Sony has confirmed that Bungie's Marathon will still release at the end of the current fiscal year, which ends March 31st of 2026. So yeah, that's just the release window, no concrete date or anything. The news came from Sony's latest earnings report during the Q&A section, which one investor asked for an update on the game and its management, as well as if the game could be cancelled entirely. That would probably be for the best. Sony's chief financial officer, Lin Tao, responded to say that Bungie's Marathon is still slated to release its current financial year, and the statement comes just 2 months after the previous statement, saying the same thing. Interesting. We are now fixing the problems, we believe. This launch will happen, and if this launch is cancelled, we will need to do revisions of the valuation. However, as of now, that's not expected. Bungie's Marathon was delayed following a lukewarm reception. That's the nicest way I've ever seen that phrased, but okay. To its reveal and playtest, and the additional issues stemming from the huge plagiarism accusation. Well, there was an accusation because Bungie was like, yeah, we did steal those art assets. We're just going to delay a little bit. Oh, okay. On its delay, Bungie said that the community's message has been strong and clear. The alpha test created an opportunity for us to calibrate and focus the game on what will make it uniquely compelling. Survival under pressure, mystery, and lore around every corner, raid-like endgame challenges, and Bungie's genre-defining FPS combat. But then again, it's been well over a decade at this point in time that you put out anything that's been genre-defining. We're using this time to empower the team to create the intense, high-stakes experience that a title like Marathon is built around. This means deepening the relationship between the developers and the game's most important voices are players. And yeah, you know who else heard that call? That we need to deepen relationships? Well, that would be Sony themselves, as Bungie loses independence as PlayStation brings Destiny Studio fully in-house. Oh. We've seen this play out before. This is normally what happens whenever a studio gets shut down, but then they just want to absorb everything to a larger conglomerate. Oh boy. The Destiny developer, Bungie, is officially entering a new era under PlayStation's banner. After 3 years of operating with creative autonomy, yes, Sony has decided to fully integrate the studio into its PlayStation Studios network. They are in fact assuming direct control. The restructuring ends Bungie's independent subsidiary status, placing it directly under Sony Interactive Entertainment's leadership and bringing tighter oversight to its game development process. Because how much money, how many resources have been wasted on Marathon so far? Double that for the latter stage development on Destiny 2. Yeah, you can kind of see why this happened. And this is especially remarkable since Sony laid off 900 employees just last year. In this regard, this marks one of the most significant organizational shakeups in Bungie's modern history, one that could reshape both Destiny 2 and the studio's upcoming projects. When Sony first acquired Bungie in 2022, it struck a deal that stood out in the gaming world. Bungie retained the right to self-publish and make creative decisions independently, yes, while benefiting from PlayStation's resources and infrastructure. At the time, the arrangement was touted as a way to preserve Bungie's creative culture while allowing Sony to tap into the live service expertise. And then they just looked at what Bungie has done over the past 3 years and went, yeah, we might as well just put you in-house so that, somebody can be in charge and somebody can have, the attempted vision. That approach is now being phased out. The new structure will align Bungie's development, publishing, and marketing directly with PlayStation Studios' internal management. It means key decisions, from content to timelines to monetization strategies, will no longer rest solely with Bungie's leadership. And here's the interesting thing about that Bungie leadership, right? They were apparently quite feckless because Sony is going to have tighter integration, and it could serve two purposes: stabilizing Bungie's output and bringing it in line with PlayStation's broader quality and scheduling standards. Because, yeah, since they, acquired the studio in 2022, they put out, a couple of expansions for Destiny and that atrocious alpha for Marathon? That's it. They have done fuck all. This is a big studio. And so Bungie's history has been defined by its ability to reinvent itself, right from the early days of Halo with Microsoft, well, actually the even earlier days with Apple and Oni, but anyways, to striking out independently, becoming a leader in live service design with Destiny. That's funny, man, because, yeah, it was one of the, I guess, early non-PC-centric looter shooters that was out there, but still, it's been supplanted by so many other games that nobody at all talks fondly about Destiny anymore. And no, I'm not just talking about the kid diddler who's going to jail. The coming months we'll be telling, with Marathon still in development and Destiny 2 in the midst of the latest content cycle. Well, no, I thought they just wrapped up last year or something like that. The studio will have to prove that tighter PlayStation oversight can strengthen rather than stifle its output. And yeah, it's already having a knock-on effect, especially with the leadership, as Bungie CEO Pete Parsons is stepping down after like 23 years in that position, and the replacement has been named. Yeah, Bungie, yeah, you're on borrowed time, my friend. Longtime CEO Bungie Pete Parsons is stepping down from his position as of today. As of today would be, earlier in August? Oh, a week ago. News came right in the midst of Gamescom. Yes, but a replacement has been named. Fortunately, Parsons, who joined the studio in 2003, has worked on several of the studio's major titles like Halo 2 and Destiny. Chase, becoming CEO of the company in 2016. He helped launch Destiny 2 and worked with PlayStation on the studio's controversial acquisition in 2022. For many, he is seen as the face of the company for quite a while, so the news is quite shocking. But yes, the post by Bungie reveals that Justin Truman will be stepping up as Bungie's new studio head as Pete Parsons retires from the position to pass the torch to a new generation of leaders. After more than 2 decades of helping build this incredible studio, establishing the Bungie Foundation, and growing inspiring communities around our work, I have decided to pass the torch, Parsons said. This journey has been an honor of a lifetime. I am deeply proud of the worlds we built together and the millions of players who call them home. And most of all, I am privileged by the opportunity to work alongside the incredible minds at Bungie. New CEO said, I'm committed to supporting and working alongside every member of the team as we here continue pouring our hearts and souls into these worlds that we love and that we hope have been worth your time and your passion. I've played like 5 minutes of Destiny and I was like, yeah, that shit sucks. It's not for me. But anyways, because ultimately those worlds only exist and thrive with you in them. We are hard at work right now doing that with both Marathon and Destiny. We're currently heads down. We'll have more to show you in both of these worlds later this year. Oh, great. Truman joined Bungie in 2010 to work on Halo Reach as an engineer. Should have stayed there. Reach is awesome. Has spearheaded much of Destiny's 2 community efforts. Lol. That's a joke in and of itself. In the game, as he worked at the gameplay experience director, seems like Bungie CEO change isn't going to delay Marathon or Destiny as far as we know. Yes, while Destiny 2 is still going strong with new expansions. Marathon is, yes, had some tough times getting out of the gate. But yeah, don't worry, guys. It's going to be coming out before the end of March. Sure, 100%. Don't mind the CEO shakeup for the first time in 3 decades. Don't mind that everybody on social media knows that, oh God, what happened to Bungie, the once great studio that brought us the gaming juggernaut of Halo that is now just one of the most virtue signaling studios on the internet, always first and foremost by, updating their profile picture whenever a certain activist month comes along. It was a studio not too dissimilar to BioWare that used to inspire confidence when that Bungie logo would pop up on a screen prior to, well, mostly, Microsoft Studios logo, and then you'd hear the guitar riff of Steve Vai kick in, and you knew that you were going to be in for some FPS glory. And at this point in time, you see the Bungie logo pop up, and you know that you're going to be in for some generic, basic, bitch-ass, bland hero shooter knockoff. Best of luck with Marathon. I'll be watching, but I sure as fuck won't be playing. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.